Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Los Angel of Havoc, aka Laytato, the one and only High Priest of the congregation. Welcome back to another installment of Laytato Clips, where we've got a little bit of everything. Now, today we're going to be reacting to part one of a set of ViDocs that Bungie has been releasing. This one is called Confronting Oblivion, and then there will be another one tomorrow called Shaping the Magic. So I don't know if there will be another one after that. I only see these two, but we will react to that one as well when it's live. But for now, we're going to get into Becoming Legend Part 1, Confronting Oblivion. So let's get into it.
Hey, and Tyson, take one, marker.
There's a line that emerged in Destiny 1 that wasn't planned for, but is very deliberate by the person who put it in the game, and is very resonant for Destiny players, and resonant for me as a person. And that line is, Guardians make their own fate.
True.
That still gives me goosebumps. For me, that has sort of become a touch point for the Destiny story. Again and again, external forces come and try to impose a fate upon you and humanity. And again, you show them that they can't do that.
Facts.
We make our own fate. That's not just a powerful theme of Destiny, it's also a powerful theme for us as people, as both developers and as humanity. We make our own fate.
Interesting.
When you're talking about 10 years of story, there's a lot of stuff crammed in there, and there's a lot of things that we could do and could talk about. But as storytellers, the hardest part isn't coming up with the ideas, it's knowing which ones are the important ones.
Robert.
We want to tell a story that makes you, the player, feel like all of that time that you invested, we saw you, and we want to give you the experience that you've been waiting for.
We looked at everything we had, we laid it all out, like whiteboards and like everything.
We were trying to look for a theme that felt resonant, not just for this story, but for Destiny as a whole. And the theme that we kept coming back to was purpose and fate. And that's what this story is about, not just for ourselves as the player, but also for our characters.
I used to think I'd give anything to bring you back.
I cried quite a few times doing those scripts because I treated it with the love of a fan. Every time I opened a script, I was like, what would I want to see? What would I want to hear?
You get to see their emotional journey, the struggle of how do we defeat the Witness?
Roll them up like a pack.
Let us bring an end to your futile exertions.
The Witness sees itself as the one true God. So it's come to the Traveler because it needs the power of the Traveler's light to finish this vision.
Its goal is salvation. Why don't you want that?
Be reborn.
Our mission is to make sure that we can prevent it from getting the light, the thing that it needs, in order to make it all happen.
It's finally confronted the Traveler, and here we are, thorns in its side, a blip on its radar, trying to make a difference.
You're gonna speak to the Witness, and the Witness is gonna shine a light on some things, and you wonder, like, what would it be like? What would it be like to be a disciple of the Witness?
Your Guardian's use has yet to be determined. We're in need of a God killer.
Every time you hear the Witness, you're not just hearing one voice, you're hearing whispers in the background, you're hearing all of these other textures.
You're still resisting.
You can feel a subtext sometimes where the real Witness comes through, or at least things that it doesn't want you to know about it come through.
There is only suffering!
Putting characters into pressure cookers is what storytellers do best. And I can't imagine a more intense pressure cooker than it's the end of the world. If we fail, everything is frozen forever, and only we can do it. It's just the handful of us inside of a god.
There were a couple of themes that we had when we started on the Pale Heart. The two main ones that I remember were surreal and shattered to spire.
Seeing how they put a tiny little guardian at the beginning of this vast journey that's spreading out in front of you really put into perspective the scale that we needed to hit in order to make the Pale Heart look and feel dangerous and ambitious and vast.
When we were thinking of surreal things, it was a bit of a challenge, because how do you make something surreal? For me, is putting familiar things out of context. What is the thing when you turn the corner that you are not expecting? So that's when we play with scale, we play with unexpected things, repetition.
There's this awesome piece of concept art that is like this massive ghost in the horizon, and you just like go over there and it's just like broken down in the middle, and it's just weird in a way that is unsettling, but at the same time feels very visceral.
Another one that we used was body parts, and it sounds a bit strange because we didn't want to do body horror. So I was taking screenshots from the game and just trying to find silhouettes and things that would look surreal. And I started replacing all the trees with hands. So all the limbs was made out of fingers coming out and eyes were on the floor.
Oh, sure, that's not terrifying at all.
I remember our direction was like that, like more hands.
Are there hands holding up the freeway in which we were born? Yes. You'll recognize it instantly, and then almost as quickly, you'll realize you've never been here before.
I definitely feel like there's some aspects of the Pale Heart where like, this is freaking weird and scary. I want to take that risk. I want to push a little bit of what expectations of a destination can be, and I hope that players love that.
When you see this
as
dude,
players
you know it's just gonna be
progress,
great.
they get to see more influence of the Witness, not just on the Traveler, but also on the races that it's interacted with that we've seen so far.
The Dread are a result of the Witness experimenting with the light. So while it's inside the Pale Heart, it's able to access the light as it's trying to siphon it. It is using that light to create and alter new and different combatants. And so we've encountered some of these members before. Now we have a name for them.
The new Dread units. They're using a new language, collaborating with narrative. We went through and used this constructed language tool to generate different phrases and figure out like grammar structures and other things. The pyramid language that the new Dread units speak is actually translatable. So players, if they're really interested in figuring out what the pyramid units are saying, could decipher these. Kos yen itget, vaktoku vakad. The Husks are an interesting addition to Destiny because you've never fought anything like them before.
We talked about, oh yeah, they need some big weapons. Like, it needs to look like this thing is serious business. They wanted a bit of a secondary unit on it, so like a 2-in-1. As the sketches were progressing, we were kind of like, oh, this feels like it's sentient. And we just loved the idea.
We had all these different sound effects in our library of water bladders that make some really cool sounds when you're shaking.
Water bladders?
Sounds of slapping jello too.
Sound design gets
So that
really
was kind of the foundation for the Husk. We have all these real physical sounds that come together and feels like an alien moving around in the stomach of this thing.
That's crazy.
The collaboration between the different disciplines and the trust we have for each other. At the end, it comes out better than anybody could have made individually.
Ooh. There's a moment where you realize, looking at the final shape, that it's not just a story about the Guardian's journey. It's also kind of the story of Destiny's journey. It starts in a place of uncertainty and challenge, and then it changes and evolves, and it proceeds forward into the unknown. And as you get closer to the final shape, those two experiences converge. We know where we're going, we know where we're aiming for.
I feel very confident about the love and the work and the thoughtfulness that everyone working on this release put into it. And I think it's inevitable that when people start going in and experiencing all these different things that make up this expansion, I think they're gonna see it.
I won't lose another soldier in this war.
Ooh! Gang, gang! Y'all know how I act when I see Hunter action on the screen. And again, just seeing Crow popping that golden gun toward the end there. Let's see. What do I want to talk about? What can I say about this? This is getting that glimpse, getting all those glimpses of how the final shape is shaping up. I feel like there is a confidence here and a joy here that, it's hard to say. I don't want to say it wasn't there for Lightfall, but I definitely think that the direction is a lot more focused, I think. I definitely feel like they've taken the time they've needed to really craft the story that they're trying to tell with this conclusion of the Light and Dark saga. And it's an important piece because this is the culmination of a 10-year journey. Some of us have been here since the very beginning, since Alpha. Some of us jumped in towards the tail end of Destiny 1's lifespan, like myself. My friend Ryini got me this game when I got my PS4, and she got me Destiny 1, and that's where my journey with Destiny started. And I have friends that didn't pop in, so like Forsaken and stuff. And there's just so many different of us Guardians and where our stories with this game started. And obviously, like to a degree, that's been the point of the storytelling, to anybody picking up Destiny today. Like you could pick it up tomorrow, or tonight even, and jump right into the story and become a part of this massive tapestry that's been woven. And the final shape is the last threads to this story that's been woven since day one. So I'm very excited. I loved seeing the cinematic of the ghosts going out. I wonder, I've had my own theories as far as what we'll see, what story threads will be answered or created in the final shape. Will we finally see how the ghosts were sent out? Will we see the progenitor race that became the Witness? Will we see any of that? One thing I love about the Witness as a villain is that I feel like we've gotten shades of like the imperfections of the Witness. The Witness is supposed to be this perfect being that can't feel. It's only focused on its mission. I don't have the collector's edition, but the lore bits that I've seen other creators talk about lore-wise, the Witness, the idea behind the Witness was to be a tool to achieve the progenitor race's goal of creating the final shape, because they felt they had no purpose. The Traveler left them with no purpose. It blessed them with all of its light and gave them no purpose, and they sought to enact their purpose, which was to bring finality to the universe and into suffering, which of course objectively can mean a lot of things. Conceptually, it could be argued that to bring it into suffering, one must inevitably create suffering, like the idea that for suffering to end, you must get through the dark. Of course, none of that really makes sense if you're trying to say I'm salvation and I'm going to bring about your salvation by essentially killing you. So that's a problem there. I don't understand its logic to the degree I probably should, but maybe that's the point of the Witness as a character. But I'm also very intrigued by the character stories that we're going to see. It's really good to hear Keith David's voice acting as Zavala, and I think that he's carrying on the torch well. Of course, Keith David and Lance Reddick have very, very recognizable voices, so unfortunately it isn't as seamless as I'm sure folks probably hope, but Keith David is a phenomenal actor, and just those couple of lines that we got in the trailer were fantastically delivered, and I'm anxious to see more. This journey that Ikora and Zavala are going to go through, especially being able to reunite with Cade, is oof. I might get like super emotional playing this shit and cry. I'm really looking forward to this, and I know part 2 comes out tomorrow, so we'll be reacting to that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. What are your takeaways from this? Also, one more piece of note: sound design is incredible, and you'd be surprised how many cool, intricate sounds that are so recognizable from video games are made just by like random shit that people did in like a studio or even like a home studio with like household items and stuff. The way you can play with just a raw sound of anything and shape it, there's that word again, shape it to your will is actually kind of appropriate, especially when we're talking about Destiny and the paracausality of light and darkness. But yeah, anyway, this is where I leave you. Thank you guys so much for just enjoying the content, leaving feedback, commenting and everything. It's really meant a lot. I posted that we hit 274 subscribers, and now we're sitting around like 286. So I just really appreciate you all just, jumping in and joining me on this ride and supporting the channel. Thank you. It really means the world to me. But my name is Los Angeles Havoc. Thank you for watching Late Tato Clips, and thank you for supporting. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. And if nothing else, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoy what I do, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It's a little bit, but it really does go a long way in terms of helping the channel grow. And again, as I've said before, I wouldn't be where I'm at with the success of this channel that I've had without each and every one of you showing that love. So it's very much appreciated. We will see you next time, friends. Same late time, same late channel.